So Shudder dropped a new movie called The Puppet Man, and this is about a man who is convicted of murdering his wife, and his daughter is like locked in a cage, and he's put on death row, and we jump up like, I don't know, 10, 15 years, something like that. And he's being finally sentenced, or put through, right? His time is up.
Yeah.
And he's going to be put down once and for all. And he claims, I'm innocent. The puppet man made me do it. Or I'm the puppet man, or whatever it is.
The puppet man made me do it.
I'm the puppet man. I was made to do it. And so the synopsis is like saying on IMDb that his daughter is like trying to figure out to save him. That is not the case in this movie.
No, not at all. That's
she like
crazy.
wants nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
And is trying to avoid any connection to him in any way, shape, or form, because she's like in college and her friend is about the case, and she's like, shut that off, get it away from me.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the hell the description that I saw was like the daughter is like trying to, you know, prove his innocence before the death row thing goes through, and it's like the execution is completed or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? That is not what's happening
that's
here.
really weird. That's the synopsis.
Yeah. So eventually what happens is the puppet man becomes them. People get controlled and they can't. Yeah, they can't do anything about it. Which
that's the gimmick of the film. The gimmick
Yeah.
of the film, because it is like a truth or dare, or something along those lines, is that people start doing things that they're not really doing.
That they can't
That
control.
they can't control themselves and stop themselves from doing.
Yeah.
Whether it's hurting other people or hurting themselves. I think actually everything is them hurting themselves. So.
No, not every single time.
Oh, you're right. It's either or then.
Yeah. It just, I mean, literally the opening of the film is someone hurting
yeah,
someone
you're
else.
Right. You're right.
But yeah, what did you think of the film?
I kind of was going up and down with this film because, like, I kind of started out not super into it, and then some things happened, and there was some cool death sequences. There's a couple kills that I actually quite like in this.
Yeah.
But then I felt like the story got convoluted again, and I had a pretty big problem with the ending.
Yeah.
I found that the ending did not make sense to me. I thought that there was a loophole, several loopholes in it, and I just didn't.
Plot holes?
Plot holes, yeah, sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay.
And I did not really understand the logic behind it, behind the ending. So that brought it down again for me. So I don't know. I kind of landed on like it's okay, but I wasn't super into it.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah, I mean, the film had moments for sure, and those moments were pretty good, and I was like, oh, I'm actually into this.
Yeah.
And then it would like shoot itself in the foot.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like the puppet man took over, and it would make the movie shoot itself in the foot. That's what it felt like. It felt like the movie was going okay, and then the puppet man came in, took over the director and the actors, and was like, nah.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to make it good.
We're not going to do it.
You are absolutely right. I mean, it just goes in this direction where you're following along and you're like, okay, like, what's the mystery?
Yeah.
And then the mystery starts to unravel. You start to get the pieces, and then you're trying to put the pieces together. And the more pieces they give you, it's like pieces from other puzzles that don't fit together.
Right, yeah.
And you're just like, but maybe it's like they're all sky pieces. So you're like sitting there and you're like, these don't fit. Like, I can't complete this puzzle.
Yeah.
Because the story, it ends up not making any sense in the end. I would love the director or the writer to sit down and tell me how this entity works and operates.
Yes.
And how the ending makes any sense at all.
Yeah, because I think to compare this movie to another very superior movie, like The Smile Demon,
Oh my
there's
God.
explanation that happens, and it does make sense. With this, I just was very confused as to the rules and what was supposed to be driving, first of all, some motivations of a couple characters in the film, and also, as you said, like how the entity works exactly, because I think that the ending is just, it calls way too many questions. It pulls way too many questions out of you and does not give you any satisfying answers.
This film actually reminds me, now bear with me because I know people love this film. I'm not huge on this film, but I like this film way more, the film I'm about to talk about. But I had the similar problem with the movie Us, Jordan Peele's Us,
Oh, okay.
where there's this intrigue that's being set up and you're wondering what's going on. And then you're waiting for the explanation, and then you get it, and then you go, I wish I didn't get the explanation. Right? Because the explanation is what hurts the film. I don't think the movie's great without it. I think that it still goes up and down. CGI, it being in some really, really poor spots, like kills. Like there's some kills that actually are quite effective and look good. And then there's a lot of other kills that are like CGI enhanced and straight up CGI, like blood splatter on windows, headshots, stuff like that.
You're talking about in this film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. So
just
I'm
to
glad
clarify,
you clarified.
it's not us that he's talking about the kills. Yeah, I agree. I think that there's very it's choppy with the kills.
So Us is a movie that has this incredible intrigue, and I'm like, ooh, I want to know. Then they give us the answer, right? And then that is immediately where the film completely breaks down. Because to me, a film like this, it would be much, much better if they just didn't explain anything. If they just left it open, where they didn't go to the psychic and they didn't get all like this, you leave breadcrumbs and you show certain images and you tease the audience and you tantalize their imagination. And you go, okay, I'm going to give you just enough to think, but I'm never going to fully give you the answer. And this film really shoots itself not only in the foot but in the head on a few different things that it explains that immediately break down all bits of logic. The same thing happened with me for the film Us. I was sitting there and I was like, ooh, this is intriguing. I'm excited. I want to see where this goes. And then they talk about, she does the whole spiel about, what had happened. And I came up, I've talked about this. I did a spoiler discussion. So if you want to hear my thoughts on that, but we watched, I have so many issues with the explanation in Us. It literally makes no sense once it's explained. And if they had just not said anything and just let the film play out creepily and just let you kind of go, oh, I wonder what the hell that was. Like, why were there two of them and why this and that? It would have made it so much better. But sometimes over explaining your films really hurts you. I know you want to be that storyteller that doesn't leave anything on the table. But you made this movie way more confusing explaining it.
Yeah, it definitely becomes more confusing through over explanation. And I do feel like it's kind of going for something like Smile, in terms of like there's a lot of over explanation with like, oh, entities like this and like historical relevance and that type of a thing. And I think you've already said it really well. It said too much and it needed to pull back and leave more things up for interpretation, leave more of a mystery. And then I think they could have gone with like this creepy, ambiguous type of ending or whatever that they were sort of trying to go for initially. But it is a bummer because I think this film has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And unfortunately it didn't live up to that for me. So, it's a fine movie, but it's definitely one that I will most likely quickly forget about.
Sure. Yeah, never have any interest in watching it again. Yeah. It's from the director of Z, which I quite liked.
Yeah.
And also Superhost, which
like.
I did not like. And to end this on something that I absolutely need to make sure everyone understands, in no way, shape, or form am I comparing the quality of Us to this movie?
Oh no,
Us is far superior.
Yeah, I love Us so much.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember, because I don't think we did a video together about this, but I don't think I had the same problems with you that you did with the ending of Us.
I would love to do a video on that, because there's no way you can explain multiple questions I have.
I mean, yeah, I'm super down. I'd be super down to rewatch Us. So far, like all of Jordan Peele's horror movies that have come out, I think are really wonderful and amazing films. I think he's got a fantastic eye for directing horror. So I'd love to rewatch like all of his films and talk about them like in depth. But yeah.
And on the other hand,
this film is nothing compared to Us. Us is like a masterpiece, and this is not.
And for me, Jordan Peele makes good movies that have incredible potential and never really get there for me.
Yeah, so we could go into it more, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them though. I like them, but I've yet to love a single Jordan Peele film.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm close though.
Yeah.
I always get close. I just always feel like he has such potential, and then there's something missing every time. It's because I'm racist.
No.
All right, guys.
Bye.